Have you
We're
ever
making
noticed
money.
that no matter
Yeah,
how
look at
much
the
you
coins.
earn,
This
you
is
never
totally
quite feel ahead
awesome.
financially? That raises
See
bring
here,
a
a salary
short-lived
increase doesn't
thrill,
always mean more
yet a few
savings.
months
If your
later, your
expenses
bank
rise,
account
your
looks
savings stay
eerily
flat.
similar to before. You're not alone, and the reason isn't obvious. It's subtle, almost invisible. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it quietly eats away at your wealth without you even realizing it. Let's take a typical
Okay, the
example in the United
laptop's work
States
is
or
done.
Europe.
Now for the
Imagine
real
someone
expenses.
early in their
Here's the
career.
rent for
Let's
the
call her
apartment
Emma.
and the
Emma
car's
just
monthly
graduated and
EMI.
landed a decent job paying $60,000 a year after taxes. Not bad. She rents a small apartment, $1, $200 per month in a moderately priced city. That's $14,400 a
Wow, look
year
at all
on
this
rent.
money
She's
flying
careful with
around.
utilities and
Yeah,
groceries,
and that airplane
spending
is
maybe another
looping.
$6,000
This
annually.
is the
Life
life.
seems manageable. Then,
Okay,
a
the
few years
laptop's
in,
work is
Emma gets a
done.
raise
Now for the real expenses. Here's the
$75,000
rent
after
for the
taxes.
apartment
She's
and the
thrilled.
car's monthly
But here's where
EMI.
the shift happens. She upgrades her apartment to a fancier place for $1,800 per month. She buys a slightly newer car with a $400 monthly payment. Dining out becomes more frequent.
Look at all
New
this
gadgets,
money
occasional
flying
weekend
around.
trips,
Yeah,
a
and
salary
that
increase
airplane
that
is
should have been a
looping.
step toward
This
freedom.
is the
It barely
life.
feels different. Let's do the
3,000
math
for rent? That's
simply.
insane.
Old
Okay, plus
rent,
car and lifestyle, that's gotta be 5,000.
$1,200
6,000? Oh, God,
times
I'm broke.
12 equals
Whoa, my expenses are
$14,400.
skyrocketing, but my
New
salary
rent,
is stuck on the treadmill.
$1,800
Okay,
times
rent is
12
25,000.
equals
Add car, another 3,500?
$21,600.
I can't afford
Car
this.
payment, $400 times 12 equals $4,800. Added lifestyle
3,000
expenses,
for rent? That's
$600
insane.
per
Okay,
month
plus
times
car and
12
lifestyle, that's gotta be
equals
5,000.
$7,200.
6,000? Oh, God,
Combined,
I'm broke.
that's $21,600
Whoa,
extra
my
annually,
expenses are
almost the entire
skyrocketing,
raise.
but my
Emma might feel
salary is stuck
wealthier,
on the
but in
treadmill.
reality, her discretionary income barely
Okay,
budged.
rent is
Now add credit
25,000.
card interest on
Add
impulsive
car
buys,
and other stuff.
a small student loan payment,
3,500?
and
I
other
can't
subtle
afford
pressures to keep
this.
up. What seemed like financial progress becomes a treadmill. Why do people fall into this trap? It's not ignorance. It's psychology. Humans are wired for comparison. Status symbols are everywhere. Your neighbors upgraded their car. Your colleagues travel every quarter. Social media amplifies the illusion of success. Our brains reward visible progress. When we spend on lifestyle upgrades, we feel successful, even if our wealth isn't actually growing. This disconnect between perception and reality is exactly what lifestyle inflation exploits. Here's where it becomes
Over
serious.
10 years,
Imagine
expenses
Emma
rise
continues
sharply
this
while
pattern
savings
for 10
grow very
years.
little.
Every raise
This
disappears
causes your
into higher
savings to
rent,
gradually
car
disappear.
payments, vacations, and gadgets. In a decade, she could have easily saved or invested $150,000 or more. Instead, she has possessions that depreciate and a bank account that barely grows. Even modest investing, say $500 per month, could have compounded to over $100,000 over 10 years.
Let's see
Lifestyle
how a small
inflation
savings
doesn't just
habit
slow
grows
wealth,
over 10
it
years.
prevents it
Year by
entirely.
year,
And it
small
happens
deposits
without
add up,
dramatic
showing
mistakes
steady
or
progress.
emergencies. It's silent. Contrast this
One
with
path
someone
leads to
financially
rising
mindful.
expenses,
They might
while
also
the
get a
other
raise to
builds investments over
$75,000,
time.
but
The
instead of
choice is
immediately
yours.
upgrading everything, they
Compounding
increase spending
returns make your
slowly or
investments
not at
grow.
all while
Over the
directing
years,
extra
your money
income
can
into
grow
investments.
significantly,
Their
while your
mindset isn't
expenses
about
stay small
denial,
and
it's about
manageable.
awareness.
Focus
They
on your
understand that
savings.
freedom
Watch them
comes from
multiply
control
while
over their
resisting
money,
impulse buys.
not the
Consistent
appearance of
saving
wealth.
grows your
It's
wealth
a subtle
over time.
difference in thinking. One path leads to stress masked as success. The other quietly compounds wealth while life feels more secure. Lifestyle inflation isn't dramatic. It's not about missing a single investment opportunity or making a bad trade. It's about patterns, perception, and the small decisions we make every day. Recognizing it doesn't require guilt or fear, it requires clarity. The next time you notice a raise or bonus, pause before upgrading your lifestyle. Ask, is this bringing lasting freedom or just a temporary feeling of success? Awareness alone can quietly shift your trajectory over years. If this perspective gave you a little clarity today, consider subscribing. Not for promises of instant wealth, but for more calm, realistic thinking about money.